her skill in hitting exactly the exact appropriate note.
Imagine a Hollywood legend at the peak of her fame, adored by millions, with an Oscar in hand and the world at her feet, only to vanish from the spotlight without a trace. What if I told you she didn't fall from grace but chose to walk away, trading red carpets for a quiet farm, fame for freedom? This isn't a tale of scandal or tragedy. It's the story of a woman who dared to live on her own terms, even when the world begged her to stay. But here's the twist. While she disappeared, her influence never did. From redefining beauty to inspiring generations, her legacy lingers in ways you've never imagined. Ready to uncover the mystery of Julie Christie, the star who chose herself over stardom? Buckle up. This is a story you won't believe. Fast forward to age 6, and Julie's shipped off to England, parked with a foster family and thrown into a Catholic convent school. Think strict rules, cold walls, and zero room for her wild streak. She got booted out once for spinning tales too bold for the nuns, a little preview of the untamed spirit she'd carry forever. Did that exile scar her? You bet. She's hinted it fueled her aversion to settling down, dodging marriage and kids like they were traps. Then came Paris, where she polished her French and at 9, pulled off a stunt that screams movie script. She ditched boarding school for a day, roaming the city with a broke actor who lit a spark in her. That's when she knew acting wasn't about fame. It was her ticket to freedom. Back in England, she hit up the Central School of Speech and Drama. And here's where it gets good. She didn't play by the book. While her peers hammed it up old school style, Julie kept it raw, real, like she was living, not performing. By 1961, she nabbed a gig on the BBC's A for Andromeda, playing a computer-made enigma, cool, distant, magnetic. People couldn't look away, comparing her to Brigitte Bardot but with sharper edges. The BBC fumbled, passing on locking her down long-term. Biggest miss of the decade, hands down. Then, 1963 rolls in and Billy Liar drops. Julie steps into Liz's shoes, bold, free, untouchable, and owns it. There's this scene. Liz struts down the street, miniskirt swaying, chin up, ignoring every stare. It's pure 60s rebellion, a wake-up call for a generation. Fun fact, she wasn't even the first pick. Actress Topsy Jane bailed, and Julie swooped in last second, no prep, and blew everyone away. Director John Schlesinger said it best. She doesn't act, she is. That role cemented her as an icon. But here's the kicker. She never chased the spotlight harder. She could have stacked up mansions, private jets, the works, yet she didn't. Let's talk luxury though, because even if Julie shunned the Hollywood game, her life's had its share of flash. Back in her prime, she rolled in a sleek Jaguar E-Type, a beauty that screamed understated cool, and she's been spotted with a vintage Rolex. Nothing too loud, but dripping with class. Real estate? She's kept it low-key, owning a cozy retreat in rural England. No sprawling LA estates or private runways here. No jets either. She's never been one for the billionaire toys. Why chase blockbusters when you can break molds? Post-1965, Julie didn't ride the fame train, she jumped off. She picked Fahrenheit 451 in 1966, a dystopian flick where she played dual roles, both haunting and human. Then Far from the Madding Crowd in 1967, as a woman too fierce for any man to tame. By the 70s, she was pushing harder. Don't Look Now. In 1973, a chilling tale with a scene so raw people whispered it wasn't acting, and McCabe and Mrs. Miller in 1971, where her sharp-witted brothel boss earned another Oscar nod. Fast forward to 1997's Afterglow, and she's a restless wife, bearing midlife's quiet aches. Yep, another nomination. Then, in 2007, Away from Her gut-punched everyone. As a woman fading into Alzheimer's, Julie's performance was so real it's used in medical schools to teach empathy. A 4th Oscar nod, a Golden Globe, a SAG award, her legacy wasn't just awards, it was truth. But here's the hook. How does someone who could have had it all end up dodging the spotlight? Julie's net worth tells a story of restraint. Peaking at maybe $10 million in her prime, it's likely around $12 million today, with projections holding steady unless she dives into new projects. Unlike peers stacking billions, she didn't chase endorsements or franchises. Her wealth came from craft, not flash. Let's talk luxury, because even a low-key legend like Julie has taste. Her real estate? No Beverly Hills sprawl. She owns a modest English countryside home, maybe $2 million plus a London flat from her early days, valued at $1.5 million. No empire, just roots. Cars? She's been seen in a classic Mercedes-Benz SL, sleek but not screaming wealth. And that Jaguar E-Type from her youth still turns heads. Watches? A vintage Patek Philippe, subtle but timeless, fits her vibe. Private jets? Not her scene. She's flown commercial or borrowed rides from friends like Warren Beatty. Business moves? She's no mogul, but backed small theater projects and eco-friendly startups, keeping stakes under $500,000. Insurance? She's got health and asset coverage, likely through UK plans, plus career policies from her Hollywood days. Nothing extravagant. Compare that to, say, Spielberg's $5.3 billion empire or J-Lo's $23 million penthouse deals. Julie's wealth is a whisper, not a shout. Her financial lesson? Live for passion, not profit. She could have banked millions more but chose roles over riches, a move that kept her free but maybe left her vulnerable. Word is she's faced quiet financial dips recently. Rising healthcare costs maybe, or supporting causes close to her heart. Yet she's still standing. No debt, no drama. Now, let's rewind to her heart. In the early 60s, before the world knew her, Julie crossed paths with Terence Stamp, Britain's brooding bad boy. They met at a London theater bash, two almost stars vibing over books, politics, and fame's absurdity. No whirlwind romance, just a deep, quiet bond. Think soulmates who don't need to hold hands. Stamp called her a mystery that silenced rooms. Julie said he got her like no one else. But fame pulled them apart. Her Billy Liar breakout, his Hollywood calls, no messy split, just lives drifting. They still speak of each other with reverence, a rare Hollywood truce. Then there was Don Besant, a painter she lived with pre-fame. He was her anchor, not her spotlight, grounding her as she navigated TV gigs. Their bond faded as her star rose, but it shaped her. She learned to love without losing herself. What's she hiding now? At 85, Julie's reportedly grappling with health challenges, maybe the toll of a life so fiercely lived. Contrast her Zhivago days when she was untouchable to now, spotted in laundromats, unguarded, human. Her impact endures. She showed women they could be bold, real, and still walk away. So, what's next for a star who's always dodged the script? Her story's far from over, and we're dying to see where it twists next. Ever wonder what it takes to love a legend without losing yourself? Julie Christie, the 60s icon who danced with fame and then slipped away, didn't just redefine stardom, she rewrote the rules of love, loyalty, and living true. By the late 60s, she was Hollywood's untouchable star, but her heart? That was a battlefield of passion and independence, a story as gripping as any of her films. Let's dive into the whirlwind of her romances, her quiet retreats, and the life she's built. A tale that asks, can you love fiercely and still walk free? Back in 1965, Julie was engaged to Don Besant, a soft-spoken painter who gave her a taste of normalcy in a tiny London flat. No cameras, no scripts, just her, barefaced, being herself. When she won her Oscar for Darling, it was Don by her side, slipping through the airport unnoticed by the press, exactly how she liked it. But as her career skyrocketed, their worlds diverged. She was off filming in far-flung places. He craved a quiet, steady life. By 1967, they parted. No drama, just different dreams. That same year, Warren Beatty entered the scene like a thunderbolt. Picture this. Julie, understated yet radiant, greeting Queen Elizabeth II at the Born Free premiere. Beatty, already a Hollywood heartthrob, couldn't look away. He chased her to San Francisco, and though their first meeting was more sparring match than love song, something clicked. Over 7 years, from 1967 to 1974, they were a power duo, never sharing a home but always sharing a vision. They made magic in McCabe and Mrs. Miller, Shampoo, and Heaven Can Wait, blending art and activism. Beatty called her a force who silenced rooms. She valued his fire, but not his need for freedom that clashed with hers. He proposed. She said no. Marriage and kids weren't her path. When his wandering heart pushed her too far, she walked away, not with tears, but with resolve. They stayed friends, a bond so deep that in 2000, she honored him in a tribute video for his Irving G. Thalberg Award. No title needed, just love that endured. What happens when a star steps back from the spotlight? After Beatty, Julie didn't chase grand romances. She chose fleeting connections that fit her rhythm. In the late 70s, she found solace with Brian Eno, the music genius. They hid away in the English countryside, two souls who could sit in silence and call it home. It ended quietly, no fuss, just a chapter closed. Then came Jim McBride, a fast-talking American director she met on a shelved indie film. He was all energy. She was all calm. Too different to last. Photographer Terry O'Neill caught her on film and in his heart, but he later admitted he couldn't hear her quiet. Lou Adler, the slick Hollywood producer, tried next, but his world was the chaos she'd left behind. Each man was a moment, not a forever, teaching her she didn't need anyone to complete her. But here's the twist. Who finally won her heart? In 1979, Julie met Duncan Campbell, a Scottish investigative journalist, at a low-key event. No glitz, just grit. He was her match, a man who lived for truth, not applause. They clicked, moved to a farm in Wales, and in 2008, after decades together, they quietly wed. No fanfare, just commitment on their terms. At 85, Julie's reportedly facing health challenges, a private struggle that contrasts with her Zhivago days when she seemed invincible. Yet Duncan's by her side, her anchor in a life that's always been her own. Let's talk money and style, because even a star like Julie has a flair that whispers wealth. Her net worth, around $12 million now, grew from $5 million in her 70s peak to a steady climb through smart, selective roles. Future projections? Stable at $12 to $15 million unless she takes on new work. Her real estate is modest but choice. A $2 million Welsh farmhouse, a $1.5 million London flat, and a long-sold LA condo from her Beatty days. No jets. She's hitched rides on friends' planes but prefers trains. Cars? A vintage Mercedes-Benz SL, maybe $100,000, and that iconic Jaguar E-Type, now a collector's gem. Watches? A Patek Philippe, understated at $20,000. Her business ventures are small. Think arts grants and green startups, under $1 million total. Insurance. Standard health and asset plans, plus old film contracts with career coverage. Compare that to Beatty's $70 million fortune or Streep's $160 million. Julie's wealth is lean, built on principle. Her lesson? Spend less than you earn. Invest in what matters. Recent whispers hint at financial strain, medical bills perhaps, but she's debt-free, still calling her own shots. Her legacy? She showed the world a woman could be bold, brilliant, and unbound, loving deeply without losing herself. So, what's the price of a life so fiercely free? Julie's story keeps us guessing, and the next chapter's just around the corner. A bustling London scene where Duncan Campbell, a titan of investigative journalism, carved his name exposing corruption and championing the underdog. His world of gritty truth collided with Julie Christie's, a cinematic legend whose heart always beat for authenticity. Their story isn't one of red carpets or tabloid splashes, but a quiet, unshakable bond that unfolded far from the spotlight. What happens when two forces, each a rebel in their own right, choose a life that defies every Hollywood script? They met, they clicked, and without fanfare or a single vow exchanged in public, they built a home together. First in London's eclectic East End, then on a serene Welsh farm. For over 30 years, they've dodged the glare, a choice as bold as any role Julie ever played. Their life together reads like a masterclass in understated defiance. While Duncan kept penning hard-hitting pieces, Julie eased away from the silver screen, trading scripts for sheep and city buzz for countryside calm. In 2007, a rumor zipped through the press. A secret wedding in India. Fans gasped, assuming their decades-long partnership needed no paper proof. Julie? She just chuckled, tossing out a breezy, "Nonsense, I've been married forever. Don't trust the headlines." Classic Christie, teasing the truth without ever handing it over. How does someone so larger than life keep the world guessing while living so small? That's the magic of their story. Duncan never vied for her glow. He stood beside her, a steady anchor. They didn't collaborate on films or flaunt their love, but their shared passion for the planet, for justice, for the forgotten, wove a tapestry richer than any blockbuster. Julie's cinematic past is a treasure trove of brilliance. She didn't churn out endless roles or chase TV fame like her peers. Instead, she handpicked parts that hit hard. Think Diana in Darling, Lara in Dr. Zhivago, or her haunting turn in Away From Her. So real it studied in medical schools. Her legacy? It's not about volume, but depth, a fierce authenticity that redefined acting in the 60s and 70s. Back then, she was a style icon too. Time magazine once claimed she outshone fashion's elite. Picture her at the Oscars, rocking self-stitched wide-leg pants, flipping the script on what a star should wear. But what drives someone who reshaped culture to trade it all for a life off the grid? Today, at 84, Julie's all but vanished from showbiz. No Instagram, no interviews, just her and Duncan tending their Welsh retreat. Spotted in July 2024 at an East London laundromat, silver hair shining, she looked every bit the enigma. Proof she's still got that spark, just on her terms. Now let's zoom into the luck side of Julie's world, because even a low-key icon has a financial tale worth telling. Her net worth, once pegged at a modest $10 million, reflects a career of quality over quantity. From her 60s peak, where films like Darling, earning her an Oscar and a cool $1 million in today's dollars, skyrocketed her stock, to her quieter years she's played it smart. Real estate? She's no mogul, but that East End pad bought in the 80s for peanuts could fetch $1.5 million now, while their Welsh farm, snapped up for under $500,000, sits pretty at double that. Luxury cars? Julie's never been flashy. Rumor has it she rolls in a trusty Land Rover, perfect for rural life, valued at maybe $60,000. High-end watches? She's not dripping in Rolexes. A simple vintage piece, likely a gift, suits her vibe. Private jets? None here. She's too grounded for that. Business-wise, Julie's no entrepreneur, but her investments lean practical. Think eco-friendly ventures tied to her activism, maybe a stake in a green energy startup, though details are scarce. Collaborations? She's lent her name to causes, not brands, boosting her influence without bloating her bank account. Insurance? She's likely covered the essentials: health, home, maybe a career policy from her acting heyday, all low-key and sensible. Compare that to her peers. While some sank millions into Hollywood mansions or crashed through scandals, Julie's wealth grew steady, not splashy. What's the lesson here? Living below your means beats chasing the next big payout. Her future? If she keeps it simple, that $10 million could stretch comfortably, maybe even nudge $12 million with shrewd moves. Julie's journey flips the celebrity playbook. She didn't cling to youth or chase awards, she shone bright, then stepped back, crafting a life that's hers alone. In an industry obsessed with more, she chose enough. At her Welsh haven, raising sheep and planting trees, she's not hiding, she's thriving. How does a woman who once owned the screen find peace in obscurity? That's her superpower. Her story isn't about loss or drama, but a deliberate pivot to what matters. From fashion rebel to feminist trailblazer, she's left a mark that lingers. Not because she stayed loud, but because she dared to go quiet. Reflect on this. Is true success about the world's applause or your own peace? Drop your take below, hit like if Julie's vibe inspires you, and subscribe for more tales that prove Hollywood's glitter isn't the only gold. Thanks for tuning in. Music fades out.